What's good, GPSV podcast listeners? I'm your co-host, Haley Shanley, and today I'm catching up with the Minnesota native. He is a multi-time world champion, the defending USSA Pro Star champion, and he is coming in guns a-blazing to the 40th edition of the Grand Prix de Valcourt. Why? Because he's come close many times, but even a guy with such a decorated resume has not claimed that first GPSV win. So he is a man on a mission. We can't wait to see what he can do February 11th, 12th, and 13th. Let's catch up with Blaine to talk about GPSV as well as previewing his schedule for the 2022 season, and it is a busy one. Check this out. Yeah, first things first, welcome to the GPSV podcast. How have you been and what have you been up to lately?
I've been great. We've had a busy summer just with, had some house projects at home, changed careers here in September. So a little bit of a personal change there. And, Alexis has been kicking butt at her job. And, it's been busy just with work and regular life, I guess. So, we're staying on track and doing well.
That's good. And since I had seen you last, which was, GPSV 2 years ago coming up on, you'd gotten married since then. So it's been a year now. So happy anniversary and a delayed congratulations. Well, tell me about the off season. I know you've just been busy around getting ready for winter 22. Did you get out mountain biking at all? Did you get out on the lake? What have you been up to that's been fun to get away from racing over the off season?
Yeah, we do a lot of as much getting away as we can. Alexis and I bought a camper this summer too. So we've been doing that and just kind of exploring different places. Back out to the Black Hills. It's some of our favorite spots. So got to take our camper out there and bring our dog Ron with us for the first time. So that was really good. Getting some, did a little bit of mountain biking. I bought a road bike this year and really put some miles on that too. Spent some time at the lake too, just kind of going all over. We've had a busy, so it started last September. We had about 12 months where I was in 5 weddings and Alexis was in 3. And so we're finally getting to the end of all of those, but great time with all of those people. And that was including our own, like you said. So, it's been busy with that kind of stuff. So racing's it's kind of nice getting back into the swing of racing stuff and having a full schedule, and it'll be nice to get to that.
Yeah, so back to a full schedule. We seem to be getting back to normal, fingers crossed. What does your schedule look like for this year?
Yeah, it kind of goes back to really similar to 2020. So we start the year in Beausejour, Manitoba, for the season opener, and that's first or second weekend in December. From there, right away, the Pro Star Cup kicks off, and it's the annual Canadian Power Toboggan Championships. So it's got some value to it right away, and we'll be debuting new sleds and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of testing that goes into that weekend. From there, we go to Ironwood, Michigan. It's been a long, stable part of the Pro Star Cup tour. Obviously we had Eagle River for the World Championships, Wausau for the 525 after that. And then I get kind of muddy on where we go. I think it's Fargo and then Waiwega and Eagle River in the same weekend. We race Friday, Saturday in Waiwega, Wisconsin. And then we book up to Eagle River on Sunday, which is new. And then we go to Valcourt. The weekend after there, we're going to go to Eganville, Ontario, so just down the road a little bit from Valcourt. And then I believe we have one more race in the States, but I'm blanking on it, or we go back to Beausejour for the finale in March.
Nice. So back to that stout full schedule, similar to 2020, like you said. How excited are you to get back into the swing of things? Last year, obviously a much more relaxed year in terms of the schedule.
Yeah, it's just presents itself with the opportunity to go out and see more of our fans and get to racing, which is what we want to do. Being partnered with Wall Brothers, it's definitely a blessing, and we love to go out there and see Wall Brothers racing, customers out racing. There was a lot of that with vintage guys and Myra running a series, and so there's a lot of racing out there. But as far as the top pro tour, we didn't have a whole lot, so it'd be nice to get back to that and just get back to having some fun.
Now, with a racing resume such as your own, I would have to imagine that your goals are pretty high up there. So tell us, what is the ultimate goal or maybe the few goals you have for 2022?
Yeah, definitely. I've gone into the last, ever since we started racing with walls, we want to cross off the big three. So Eagle River and then Valcourt and Beausejour are usually the three that we have circled. Obviously, Wausau's a storied event. Anywhere we go is a good place to win. So we want to win everywhere. But yeah, World Championship, Valcourt, Beausejour, definitely top three races, and then to put together the Pro Star Cup is pretty special. Just to get a year of consistent races and wins and stuff like that, it takes a lot. So that's our goal, is to be competitive everywhere we go, and hopefully we come out of the gate swinging in Beausejour, which we normally do there. So makes the guys really excited to get into the season.
So at the Grand Prix Skidoo de Valcourt, you've come close, but you're still chasing that elusive first win. And I know that would just be a huge monkey off the back if you're able to solidify that in 2022. Talk me through your history at the event. How has it been to you?
We've come close to winning in Valcourt, but we've never put the deal together. Closest was last time we were in Valcourt. Had the lead with, it was like 2 or 3 to go, and blew a belt down the backstretch. So it's kind of an internal wall something. Jordan was running this, relatively same chassis his last year, and he had belt issues there. And then we had all sorts of issues in 2020 with carburation, and it just wasn't getting fuel. So we weren't able to put our best stuff on the track until the final on Sunday, which is when it counts, which is where you want your best stuff. But yeah, just with the bikes and everything and the quads, we get a real stutter bump down the straightaways on the oval. And for clutch guys, that your belt is expanding and contracting a lot when it gets to different points like that. So, and then you're trying to push it at 10,000 RPM and go faster. It's for some reason our chassis seem to have some sort of issue with it. But I tried to run a line that got us to the end, and it just didn't go. But we were really fast there last time, so we were hoping to go back up there with a fast sled.
Hoping to get that elusive win there at GPSV. I know that would be a big deal for you, like you said, aligning with one of your goals. As far as the event itself, I know you mentioned the racetrack itself. It definitely presents its challenges. But as far as the event and the atmosphere goes, what stands out to you the most about that one?
Yeah, I think most people would say it's pretty close to second to none. You go up there and it's a whole different ball game. The fans are incredible. They stick it out during some of the worst times I've seen to watch races, and they're out there and having a good time. They bundle up really well, and a few beverages in you, they probably warms you up a little bit to get through that kind of stuff. But yeah, just the atmosphere going to that. They have the the backs, or on the fan side, they have the big tent, and we always go over there and check out. They have the band during the night, and last time we got Tommy Boy, he rode the bull, which is par for Tom. But yeah, just them presenting those kind of things and stuff for kids to do, and having a true event to go along with the racing really brings out a crowd, and it makes it really exciting for us, for sure.
Definitely going to be a good time, especially with all the other events they're going to be having this year outside of the race course itself. It'll be fun for sure. Now, the sport of ice oval racing, what makes it stand out in contrast compared to all other sports, stick and ball sports, other forms of racing? What is it about ice oval for you?
Yeah, I mean, for me in particular, it's, the speed is an adrenaline rush. It's a lot of fun to do that, but we have a lot of history that goes into our sport. You look at places like Valcourt running on their 40th event. Ice oval in general, you have Beausejour running their 56th or 57th event, and then Eagle River is in the 50 years too. So it goes back a long ways, and especially with Wall Brothers, we got a lot of history that's really cool to look back on and continue the success. So I take a lot of pride in that, representing Polaris too. They've got a long history. We still run schemes that are relatively close to what the Midnight Blue Express was, just with how the graphics are designed. That means a lot to me. So really take that to heart and representing all of those people.
So you mentioned history there and the history of the sport. Let's segue that into your personal history in racing. At what point throughout your career did you start to really find traction and get success right out of the gate? Were you finding it?
Not necessarily. So we raced kitty cats and stuff, 120s since I was 3, and I didn't have a whole lot of success. We were there for fun, but I was just bigger, and there are kids that were built better for racing smaller sleds. And so when we first started winning was when we got into the bigger sled racing and the juniors. When we were competitive, pretty much year 2, year 3, and then when we got more into my amateur career, like F500, that's when we really had a good piece of equipment underneath us, and part of winning races in oval racing is having good tuners and good sled. So my dad and I learned a lot tuning that sled, and just that's when we really started to grow and kind of projected more on a career path that was going to get us to pro, and the success that we've had there you can only dream of. So but definitely enjoying that part of it now that we're partnered with Wall Brothers. Those guys have more experience than anybody really, as far as tuning and building, and so it's a lot of fun that way. And just you're always going out with a piece of equipment that can win, so it's exciting.
Now, let's say one day you are to take your career from the ice oval to the dirt oval. What would that look like? What would you put yourself in?
Yeah, obviously, the sprint car would be cool. And honestly, that was a few years ago. I don't know if it's in the cards anymore, but you could look at, I don't know, running a World of Outlaw would be cool, wouldn't it?
Last question I have for you is, who's going to be supporting you here in the 2022 season?
Yeah, so obviously we're talked about Wall Brothers Racing a lot, and the partnership there is really great. So we really appreciate Dave and Dermont, all the hard work that they put into it. Dustin goes to a lot of the races. He's more of a team manager guy. He does a lot of work on Tom's stuff, but he's always checking in on myself and making sure I'm ready to go and where I need to be mentally. So that's a lot of help from those guys, and then the guys at the shop from Walls too. Most of the time our sleds go back to the shop now. So having Jordan and Jeff and Terry and Brandon and Mary all taking care of us up in Greenbush means a lot to me. Signed another multi-year deal with Polaris, so I'm happy to be with them for a considerable future, and I really enjoy working with Tom and Ben, and the amount of focus that they put into oval racing is important to them, and I know it's important to a lot of people up in Roseau too. We got a lot of people up at the factory that will text us after big wins and that kind of thing, and that's really cool to me too. Obviously my parents, my wife, for all the support. My sister comes to a lot of races, and then everybody else that supports us. FXR keeping us warm, looking really good. Walker Evans Racing does a lot of work with us, just with Hazer and out of the race shop. Woody's Traction's on board with us again this year, so really happy representing them, and Power Man, Two Extreme Designs. Just everybody that's in our corner. Really appreciate all the help.
And I know I said one last question, but that's never the case when I say that. The legit last question I have for you is the vlog. Are you going to keep it going this year?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's. I'd love to. I will. We will. It's just so tough. I find it. I'm kind of a shy guy when it comes to that kind of stuff. I don't mind doing this kind of thing. It's more of an interview deal, but you watch a couple of the more successful vlogs. Obviously, you see Kenny's out there, and he's doing a great job. He's got a lot of big faces in there and everything. So that's cool to see his kind of blow up. But maybe I'm thinking more of a structure like Hunt the Front. I know they've got a really good following, but they just do a good job of putting it out there. So if anybody ever has comments on how we're doing, what we're doing, people tell me, you know, it needs to be 5 minutes long, no longer. And other people are like, make it a half an hour. So you've got opinions coming from everywhere. But that was Alexis's kind of brainchild. And we've taken it and ran with it. And so hopefully we can restructure it, but still have fun with it. You know, it'll be, the vlog. It's been fun to do for sure.
I do enjoy catching up with Blaine Stephenson because, in my opinion, he's a guy who sets a standard on the track as well as off. Of course, he's a tremendous athlete with a resume to back it up. Multi-time world champion, he's your defending USSA Pro Star champion, and he's always been a threat here in Valcourt. And look at what he's doing beyond the track as well. Doing for the sport with his vlog and the content he produces, giving fans a real behind-the-scenes look. It's such a wildly thrilling sport that is ice oval racing. So do yourself a favor, go check him out online, and while you're there, be sure to follow the Grand Prix de Valcourt on all your favorite social media channels. Like Blaine said, you will be seeing him February 11th, 12th, and 13th at the 40th edition of the Grand Prix de Valcourt, 3 action-packed days of racing, and just announced, this year we are throwing it back to the roots of GPSV. You will enjoy racing all 3 days during the day, and then after hours, downtown Valcourt, there are more festivities to be had. So I cannot wait to see you there, and I can't wait to see the kind of heat that Blaine Stephenson is going to bring to the table. I'm Haley Shanley, co-host of the GPSV podcast. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe on YouTube and Spotify. With love, I'll see you next time.